Thank you so much. It was so nice to be here. Hang on, I'm a little warm. That's better. Now, ordinarily for these events I sit on the table, but this is a new dress and I've discovered that it's rather short when I sit down, so I'm quite glad there's a cloth on the table, and I'll probably stand behind it for now. It's got little birds on it, if you're wondering. Thank you so much for coming. Where's Karen? I can see. There she is. Sorry, I have wonderful friends. Where's Laura sitting? Oh, there she is down on the floor. I have some brilliant friends here tonight, so that makes it doubly special. Right, my name's Erin Hunter, except of course it isn't. So you know my real name, don't you? What's my real name? Vicky. My real name is Vicky. Yeah, well of course Laura and Karen know my real name. Yes, my real name is Vicky Holmes. There are 3 Erin Hunters. There's me, Kate Carey and Cherith Baldry. Another lady, Tui Sutherland, has written a couple of books, but she doesn't work with us anymore. More's the pity, she's busy having babies. In fact, she's having a baby right now. How fabulous is that? So I've got my phone and I'm waiting for a little text from your baby, Erin. The reason I'm here is because of all the Erins, I'm the best. And I have the nicest dresses. Now the reason I'm here is because the series was my idea, as was the Seekers series. Oh, sorry. Okay, the series, I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to deafen us, okay? Sorry. The series was my idea and I write all the books. Some books I write on my own. If I don't have time to write a book on my own, then I enlist the help of Kate or Cherith to expand my ideas. So if I'm working on them with a book, I will write a really detailed storyline for them, which is probably over half the length of the final manuscript. And then I send it to them and they breathe life into the scenes. So if you like, I make a balloon and they inflate it. And then they send it back to me and I go through it and rewrite it as necessary and then deliver it. So Kate and Cherith don't know each other and never communicate with each other. They don't need to. It's just me telling them what to write. It sounds a little dictatorial. It kind of is. People always say, do they ever argue? Nope. Because I pay them handsomely. They would never dare. And also, at the beginning, maybe they would kick a little bit when I was asking them to kill all the pretty cats, because they have cats and love cats. But now they just accept that what we do is good. So although we weren't friends to start with, I knew them because I was an editor and I knew they were good writers. And so it was a professional arrangement. Now I do consider them friends. Kate wrote The Last Hope with me, and I deliberately chose her because she's great with the doom and the gloom. Cherith is good with doom as well, but she is great with older characters. So she has written Yellowfang's Secret for me, which is coming out later this year, because she's very good with the cranky characters. So we work as a brilliant team. And as I say, some books I do write on my own, but it's more fun to have them as well. And also then I can blame them for the mistakes. But the mistakes are always my fault. Now, I just have to clear one thing up. There is a series called Survivors coming out this year about dogs. Please don't ask me anything about it because I've had nothing to do with it. HarperCollins wanted to do a new series about dogs and felt that Cherith, Kate and I were too busy with the bears and cats. So it's a completely new team working on Survivors under the name Erin Hunter. So I know nothing. I don't know the name of the writers. I don't know the storyline or anything. So I'm sure it'll be great, but it's not me or Kate or Cherith. So if out of loyalty to me you don't want to read it, I probably won't stop you. Say that. So we're here for The Last Hope. Let me get my copy out. Yes, The Last Hope, the end of an era that started, well, for me it started 12 years ago in the year 2000 when HarperCollins said to me, I was writing to them other books for them about animals and horses and humans, and they said, we'd really like to write, to have a book about cats, just the one book, no other books about cats, we think it might sell. Now, I think it's quite well known that I don't like cats. And in fact, I'm allergic to cats, which makes me the only author in the world to actually be allergic to her own fans. So if anyone has a lot of cats and thinks they might be covered in cat hair, please, for the sake of my mascara, don't hug me. Because my eyes will water. And if you're desperate for a hug, wait to the end. So ordinarily I would not have written about cats. I know about cats because I grew up surrounded by them on the farm, but they would not be my first choice. But when you're young and a struggling author, you'll do anything for money. So I was like, okay, I'll do one book about cats. But to make the story interesting for me, I put into it all the things that I am passionate about, like war and death and religion and racism and bullying and what it's like to be the new kid on the block and what it's like to feel a bit different inside. So all of these themes got squashed into the first storyline. And in fact, the first ideas I had for Into the Wild, Firestar became leader at the end of book 1. That was my original book. And if you've read all of the first series, you'll know that doesn't happen in book 1 now. And so I sent this storyline off to Harper and said, is this the thing you're looking for? And my editor replied saying, well, it's great, but we think it's 6 books, not 1. And I was like, I don't know, that was not my plan. And they also wanted them quite quickly, so that's when I enlisted the help of Kate, and then Cherith joined in for book 3, Forest of Secrets. So there I was, stuck with a series that I didn't want to write, and to be perfectly honest, nobody thought it would sell either. And we got to about book 3, Forest of Secrets, and I was still not really loving my cats, I must confess. And then I wrote the prologue to Forest of Secrets, in which we learn that Blue Star gave up her children for the sake of becoming clan deputy. And it's very rare in a children's book to be able to write about the experiences of a mother, and it's even rarer to be able to write about a mother who gives up her children for the sake of her career. And I've been a single mother for 20 years now and have had those sort of conflicts in my life. So I always say I don't need to write an autobiography. If you read all of Warrior's books, you know me very well indeed. And as I was writing this prologue, I realised what a luxury it was that because I was writing about cats, I could write about anything. Well, there are 2 things I won't write about, but apart from that, everything else is fair game. And the editors at first said, well, you know, we're not sure if this mother theme is suitable, but this series is never going to sell. You can write about it. And of course, what they didn't realise is that you guys, you know about these things, you watch the news, you are intelligent, articulate, reading people. If you have a TV in your house, you're aware of issues of violence and religion and prejudice. And consequently, the sales shot through the roof because I wasn't talking down to you, I was being very indulgent, and I think I was just fortunate. I think that's why Warriors is so popular, because I was just writing about things I wanted to, and I never think that I write for children, and I would never say, oh, I write for girls or boys. I just write what I want to, and I have been very blessed. And so that's when I really fell in love with the series. So from book 3 on, it was like, this is amazing, and I love my cats now. And I would never harm cats. You know, you have to. No cats were harmed in the making of these books. Only the ones in my imagination. On Tuesday at one of my school events, a young student stayed behind afterwards to show me a school project he'd done as a biography of me, which is always a little bit freaky, because from what he'd learnt on the internet, I think he knows more about me than my own husband does. And at the end, he'd put a paragraph in which he summarised all of the big world history events that have happened in the 10 years that Warriors has been published. Things like the first black US president, and the capture of Osama bin Laden, and the tsunami in Asia, and Hurricane Katrina, and all these huge events. And I thought, gosh, that's